Okay, recording now. All right, you guys. So thank you all for being here for Wednesday morning Zoom. Sending lots of healing energy to everybody who's not here, and that hopefully you'll be back soon. All right, so today we're going to focus on a little bit of everything. So just take a moment. Make sure that you've got your hips higher than your knees so that you're comfortable. Also make sure that if cross-legged is not your best place, please feel free to extend the legs. All I ask is that you put a little bolster underneath the knees to make sure that you're not hyperextending the knees. So as we come into practice today, take a moment and just very gently with your eyes closed, allow your head to do just a very small sway side to side. And do it slowly so that you can begin to feel how the body's doing today. And just kind of observe how you're doing. Notice if you have any areas of tension and stress. Or if it's just generally grumpy because it's still a little early in the morning and you're not quite awake yet. And then from your neck, just allow the shoulders to move a little bit. And just kind of observe how they're doing. Take a moment to run your first two fingers up along the back of the jaw where the jaw meets the earlobe. And just kind of take a moment and touch there. Notice if you're having sensations there. If you are, just take a moment to hold. This is a gentle hold. You're not trying to dig holes into your head. Just bringing awareness to where you might be feeling tension and not be aware of it. And then from there, take those same first two fingers and your temple. You've got the front line of the temple that comes right back by the eyes, and just kind of gently run your index finger along that line. And come down pretty much to the base. It's just above the top of your cheekbone, and just notice if right there you're finding any tension. And again, this is a gentle hold, sending love to our body based on what we talked about in the Monday musings. We want to focus on emotions of joy, emotions of gratitude, emotions of love. And then gently release that. And take a moment just to kind of roll into the wrist, spreading open through the fingers and the hands. Doing a little flexion with the wrist, a little extension through the wrist, just kind of noticing how things are doing. And then from here, take a moment and I want you to begin to find your core. Feel that engage, and then from that engagement, gently twist a little bit to the left, very small twist. Just kind of observing how things are feeling, re-engaging through the core in the front, gently, slowly, a little bit of twist to the right. Just noticing how things are feeling today. And then let it relax. Letting the trunk sway a little bit side to side. Taking a deep inhale now through the nose. And as we exhale, gentle ha sound out. And we'll do this twice more. Deep inhale. And one more time. And after the last sound breath, take a moment and we're going to play with our fingers just a little bit today. So I want you to take Allow the thumbs to touch, index fingers to touch, each of the fingers touch, and just bring that back into the center, just kind of creating a connected circuit. And just take 3 cycles of breath right here without changing the breath. Just bringing that awareness in, beginning to let go of the vision, beginning to let go of the hearing, and connect more into the sound and the feeling of your breath as you inhale and exhale, beginning to find that rhythm. And then when you're ready, gently release your fingers. Allow the hands to come to rest on top of the thighs, palms facing up. And begin moving into that full diaphragmatic breath so that as you inhale, the breath comes from the belly, moves through the solar plexus, and then comes up to the heart. And then as you exhale, it releases from the heart down to the solar plexus, and then finally drawing up and in through the low belly, gently squeezing out the last of the breath. And as we squeeze out the last of the breath, we also begin to connect into our core. Allowing the breath to deepen. Now from this place, once you are connected into that deep diaphragmatic breath, starting at the belly, coming to the solar plexus, and then up to above the heart. At the top of the inhale, if you choose, simply pause for 1 to 2 counts before you begin your exhale. And you'll do that for 5 cycles of breath. At the end of the 5 cycles of breath, take your palms and place them over the heart. So allow this to be your breath. Filling from the bottom, going to the top, and at the top, gentle pause. And then exhaling, moving from the top and going down. So when you're ready, from here, we're going to connect into vibration, sound, tone. So we'll begin by singing the sound of ah, then we'll move into the sound of oh, and then we'll move into the sound of mm. And as you do this, if you felt tenderness or sensation around the jaws, take this time to be very mindful of really opening and changing the shape of the mouth and the jaw as you sing to help release the tension. On the fourth breath, I want you to set your intent for your practice today, making it an I am statement, something that you most need and something that you most desire. Okay? So here we go. When you're ready, taking a full deep inhale back to that deep diaphragmatic breath. Releasing your hand. Taking another full deep inhale. And on the exhale, gently turn the corners of your mouth up, eyes gently open. Thank you, you guys. Okay, so let's grab. Sorry, I'm laughing because I told you guys to have your props ready, and I just realized that I had I was showing someone an exercise and I forgot to bring my strap back. So grab your straps. I'm going to go grab my strap because I don't have an extra back here, and I'll be right back. Okay, there we go. See? All right, are we ready? So today we're going to do some bigger movements with our straps. Go team. We're going to really begin to find some movement. And you guys are going to love me because during midterms I was doing more yoga to try to keep myself moving and a little bit sane, right? Reoxygenate my brain. I started playing with some stuff. So because I did that, guess what? We're going to get to do it today. So yay! So be prepared. I had a great conversation, and I just have to tell you guys, thank you all so much for being patient with me while I spent a month forcing a lot of anatomy and things on you. So now we're going to take all that and we're going to start playing with it. Okay, so here we go. Simple way to do this is just simply let it rest on top of your thumbs and grab your hands. If you want to use a little bit more of an isometric movement, you're going to bring your fingers around, flip it out so that way, and then bring your hands back around so that now it covers both directions, right? And you've got a little bit of resistance. So as we do this, I want you to make sure that you've got plenty of space so that you have lots of range of motion for that shoulder joint. See, and I didn't even use the anatomical. Oh, yay, go team. All right, so notice how wide my strap is. It's like I'm touching on the outside of my knees. So let that relax. And what I want you to do is before we do anything, I want you to start with your right side, and with your shoulders just in a neutral position, I want you to see if you can wake that right shoulder up and squeeze it towards the midline. So just the right side. So take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, I want you just to gently squeeze that medial edge, that inner edge of the shoulder blade. And it doesn't have to move much. I just want you guys to wake it up. And then let it relax. And then if it feels like all of a sudden your neck suddenly has a little bit more space, allow your neck to move a little bit. And now let's take the left side. And I want you to take that left side and squeeze. And just let that relax. And as you do this, I want you to notice if you have one side where it's actually easier to squeeze than the other, right? Like, so for myself, my left side gets really lazy. It gets very locked down and it doesn't want to make a movement. My right side's like, oh yeah, we can do it. My left side's like, no, I don't want to do it. So just notice that. Notice that, because as you work today, it just means that you're going to have to pay a little bit more attention to the side that is not quite certain, right? It's just a little bit more hypomobile. So when you're ready, deep inhale. Bringing it up. Oh, okay. Now, if you've got it wrapped around, this is an awesome place with your shoulders. I want just play here for a moment. Take a moment, take a deep inhale, and allow the shoulders to come up towards the ears. Notice that as you do that, the shoulders are rounding forward a little bit. Now, as you exhale, I want you to see if you can access those lower trapezius muscles, the muscles down, wrapping the bottoms of the shoulders, and see if you can drop the shoulder blades a little bit. So allow them to slide down the back of the rib cage. So now from here, I want you to find that lower abdominal point, right? It's like typically we want to press our bellies out. I want you to focus on that. So about 2 inches below the belly button. I want you to take just a moment and draw that up and in just a little bit. Oh, there we go. Now, outer edges of the fingers, or you can turn your palms away, press and squeeze. Make sure that you've got lots of space between the ears and the shoulders. Beautiful, you guys, awesome. And then when you're ready, deep inhale and exhale. Bring it down and allow the shoulders to roll. Okay. All right, we're gonna get our trunks involved a little bit. So remember when we were just beginning to open up, I asked you guys to find your abdominals and squeeze them together a little bit before we made the twist. So we're gonna do that same thing, but now we're gonna move it. It's not the same thing, but we're gonna squeeze, but we're gonna come from the lateral. We're gonna move into the abdominals that wrap around our sides. So before we make a movement, I'm gonna be asking you guys for a squeeze. So again, deep inhale, let the arms come up. Feel the shoulders move up towards the ears, and then when you're ready, this time I want you to bend into the elbows a little bit, slide those shoulders down, which is also going to draw them back behind you just a little bit. There you go, beautiful, you guys, that looks awesome. And take a deep inhale right here, and as you exhale, I want you to begin to squeeze into that left side. Oh, and roll yourself over to the left side just a little bit. There you go, good. And breathe. And then inhale, bring it back up. Pause here, see if you can bend into the elbows a little bit more, slide and draw those shoulder blades behind. If your strap goes behind your head, that's fine, that's great, beautiful. Awesome, you guys, it looks awesome. Let it come back up a little bit so it's just above the head. Get ready. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, squeeze now into that right side so that you can come over towards the right. Oh, and breathe. And then inhale, come back up. Beautiful, you guys. Lengthen the arms up and then exhale, bring them down. Roll the shoulders again. Okay. All right. So now we're going to add, as we move over to the side, a little bit of a twist. So again, deep inhale, bring the arms up. Again, allow shoulders up towards the ears. And then as you exhale, gently bend into those elbows. Okay. Take a moment before we start, and I want you to see if from this position, you can take those inner edges of your shoulders and squeeze just a little bit more. Ooh. Waking up, and then let that relax. So again, we're going to move to the left first. So take a moment, squeeze into that left side, and pull, using that left side, over towards the left. Beautiful, you guys. Awesome sauce. Good. Now, if your body says it wants to do a little bit more, you're going to take this left hand, I'm wiggling my fingers, and you are going to draw the left side forward as you allow the right side to go back. Ooh. And you're going to shift your gaze either up the wall or towards the ceiling. So we're just doing a little bit of thoracic rotation. And we're asking ourselves to balance as we do it. And then gently release so that now we're facing forward again. And then inhale, bring ourselves up. Take a moment before we start, and one more time, take those inner edges of the shoulder blades, squeeze them together. And if you can bend into the shoulder blades a little bit more, great. Good. Release that, allow it to come back up just a little bit behind, above the head. Getting ready to squeeze into that right lateral side, gently squeeze, bringing yourself down over to the right. Beautiful, you guys. Keep breathing. Please don't hold your breath right here. If you're holding your breath, then you're doing too much. And then if your body says yes and would like to do a little bit more this time, the right side is going to come forward. The left arm is going to come back a little bit. Gaze is going to shift either up the wall or towards the ceiling. And breathe. And just notice if you're shaking, notice what your body's doing. And then gently, slowly release, bring it back forward. And then inhale, bring yourself up. One more time. Take those inner edges of the shoulder blades, squeeze. Elbows can come down. This time, see how low you can go. Back into our W. Oh. Really squeezing from behind. And then let it relax. Lengthen back up and forward. Woo! Roll those shoulders. Okay, how are we doing, you guys? We okay? All right. Okay, so from here, just to make sure that we did a whole bunch of retraction. Now we're going to come forward. We're going to move into eagle arms. So allow the hands to come palms out. Take a moment, and we're going to begin with our left hand under. So wave your left hand. Okay, this one's going to come under first. When you're ready, as you exhale, sweep the arms forward. Left arm comes over. Okay, this is still my left hand. It's going to be upright, palm is facing away. It's now the right hand's turn to come back round and hold on. Okay, if that's too much, please feel free to take hands to shoulders. All right, I'm going to adjust myself a little bit just so it's a little bit easier for everybody to see. Okay, here we go. So what I want you to do is first movement is keep breathing, please. All right. If your body has any more opening, you're going to just very gently on the exhale begin to draw the elbows down. And this might be a very small movement, you guys. This might be like a millimeter before your body goes, yeah, that's all I've got today. So just be really mindful and honor what your body has to give, right? So that's the big thing, is honor what your body has to give rather than trying to make your body do something the mind thinks it should do. If your body says, okay, then what I want you to do is bring the elbows back up so that they're more or less now parallel to the floor. And then if your body says yes, you can begin to lift your elbows and go just a little bit higher. And again, this might just be a millimeter. So please take the offer of what your body has and then be grateful for that and say thank you. And really honor your body for what it is willing to share with you today. And then gently release, come back to the center, unwind, and roll. There we go, good. All right. Okay, here we go. Now it's time for the right side. So wiggle that right hand because that's the one that's coming underneath. Exhale, sweep the right arm under the left. So the right palm is now facing away. It's the left hand's job now to come round, okay? And I'll just scoot myself over this way a little bit so that y'all can see. Okay, so same thing. Please take what the body is able to offer. So if there's more space as you exhale, I want you to drop the shoulders just a little, or excuse me, drop the elbow just a little bit. There we go, good. Breathe. Really focus on your breath. Please make sure you're not holding your breath. And then from here, if your body would like to continue, you're going to bring the elbows back up so that they are about parallel. And then if your body says yes, you're going to lift the elbows up just a little bit above parallel. And just be very open to what your body has. What can it offer? And what can you receive? And breathe. And then very gently release. Unwind the shoulders. Oh, there we go. Good. Nice. All right, you guys. So, are we ready? Now that we are all warmed up, we're gonna start playing. So here we go. Yay! Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. Come on to tabletop. Okay, so we're gonna play with movement coming into and out of. I want you to do this with your breath, and I want you to be really mindful of what your body is able to give this morning. So the first thing I want you to do, because we just warmed everything up through the upper body, is I want you to check in with your hips. So move the knees so that they are actually next to each other, okay? And then when you're ready, as you exhale, you're going to very gently drop into the right side. So you're just going to move things over to the right a little bit and just notice how that feels through that right side of the glutes moving into the hips. And then inhale, bring it up. And then when you're ready, exhale, bring it over to the left. And just take a moment to notice how it's feeling on the left side. And then gently release. Okay, you guys, so from here, open the knees back up, curl underneath the toes, spread those hands wide, and allow, fingers are spread wide, arms are spread wide, and allow the hips to come back towards the heels of the feet. If curling your toes under is too much opening for the bottom of the foot, the sole of the foot, then just gently come back onto the top of the foot. Okay. All right, so from here, the first movement is simply to bring yourself forward so that the shoulder and the wrist are about in the same line. And then bring it back. If you want to do a little bit more, what I want you to do is back the palms of your hands up even a little bit more so that you're a little bit compressed, a little bit like a spring. You're into the base of the palm and you're going to lift your knees. So now we're into squat dog. There you go, good. If your body says yes, this might be the entire posture. If your body says yes, you're going to push yourself forward, hovering. So now you're on your toes, but the knees are about 2 inches above. And press back. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, press back. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, press back. One more time. Inhale, forward. Exhale, press back. Now, if your body says yes, what I want you to do is gently step those feet forward. You've got a big bend in the knees, you guys. I don't know if you can see this, but the heel is not touching. I'm hovering. And then come up onto the fingertips and allow the feet to walk forward. Nice big bend into the knees. Look at you go. Awesome. Yay. Squeezing through the glutes now. You're going to drop the hips, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. If your body says yes and you feel that you have the balance for this, lengthen the arms out. So pretty much what we're doing is a half thunderbolt pose, Ardha Utkatasana. And then release the arms, squeeze through the glutes, drop yourself down. Let the hands come back forward. Notice I have a really big bend in my knees, you guys, so that my back can stay long. Coming back to the fingertips. If your body says yes, you can either make a soft fist or come down onto the palms. We're going to walk ourselves back. I want you to walk back. Back to the ball of the foot. As long as your body says yes, you're going to bend into the knees and come back down to squat dog. Look at you guys go. Yes, first thing in the morning. Nicely done. Let the knees come down, come to rest. Let the tops of the feet come onto the mat. Tops of the feet, that's cute. Now from here, depending on what your knee flexion is telling you, you can either go all the way back into child's pose. If that's not a comfortable place for you, I want you to keep space so that you're not over-flexing into the knees. Let the arms come out so that this way the hips stay up. You're still on your forehead. And let your body relax here. It doesn't matter, you guys. This is not about how deep you can go. This is about where can you find a place of comfort. Okay, beautiful, you guys. That's awesome. That looks beautiful. I want you to take 2 more cycles of breath right here and just really relax and soften into this. And then gently, slowly release. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move ourselves into variation of side plank, Vashisthasana. So this is my left hand. I'm coming down onto my left forearm. And I'm going to lengthen into my left leg. My right leg is going to come forward. If I have more space and more room, I'm going to come back onto, back onto my left arm, okay? But I want you guys to have a break from extension in the wrist, okay? So if your wrists are getting tired, please come down onto here. So my right leg is in front, my left leg is long behind. I'm on the side of the foot, okay? And I'm gonna bring my hips down so that they're resting. So this is how we're setting up. Are we good? Okay, good? Yes? All right, so here we go. So right here, before we do anything, I want you, as you're here, to feel the opening through this left side. Just doing this, notice how this left side gets to stretch just a little bit, okay? So now we're gonna use our core. We're gonna lift our hips up. So when you're ready, take a deep inhale. Exhale, lift up, good. Now, if you want, you can bring your hand up. And if you want, I'm gonna move my hand for a moment. You can bring your hand over, and work towards touching the floor. There you go, good. Inhale, bring that arm back up. Exhale, drop into the hip and let the arm come down. Good, here we go again. Squeeze through the glutes, squeeze through the core. Deep inhale, sweep the arm up, lift up, and if you choose, sweep the arm forward, and then bring it back up. Exhale, sweep it down. One more time. Deep inhale, arm comes up, hips come up, arm can move forward if you choose. Exhale, sweep it back down. Good. Now, are we ready? Because here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take this right leg that's in front, bring it behind, right arm behind, left arm is gonna push ourselves up. Here we go. Now are we ready? Now we're sitting on our sits bones, knees are bent, and the hands are now behind. Look at how nicely we did that. Beautiful transitions, everyone. Okay, so from here, we're gonna start playing with boat. So you may need to bring your hands a little bit closer for a moment, adjust so that you can really feel those sits bones. And here's what I want us to do. Grab a block. We're gonna place a block in between our knees, okay? Give ourselves a little extra. All right, are we good? We got it, okay. Let the arms come forward. Beautiful. Begin to squeeze. Now, here's what I want you to do. Very gently, very slowly, you're gonna widen the hinge and just bring yourself down a couple of inches. Notice how by bringing yourself back a couple of inches through the torso, all of a sudden, we have to access our abdominal trunk. When you're ready, inhale, bring that torso back up more to vertical. Pause, keep squeezing through the legs, so squeezing our block. When you're ready, exhale, gently drawing up and in through that lower core. Gently begin to draw the torso back. And then inhale, bring the torso back up so that we're more or less vertical through the torso. One more time. Exhale, squeezing through the legs, engaging through that core, gently, slowly lowering ourselves back just a little bit. Beautiful, you guys, it looks awesome. Breathing here, letting everything shake. And then inhale, bring ourselves all the way up. Nicely, nicely done, you guys. Release the block. Let yourselves spin. How are we doing? Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a little twist before we do the other side. So again, I want you to think, if you're twisting from the lumbar spine, engage those trunk muscles, you guys. These muscles down here have got to work, so they help support the spinal column. We're gonna adjust our legs here just to make it a little bit easier. So allow the legs to widen just a little bit. Okay. So since we're going to go ahead and twist to the right first, I want you to shift that left hip forward just a little bit, allowing the right hip to come back just a little bit. So now we have an angle, all right? So engaging through the core, make those trunk muscles do the work. Right hand is going to be behind. Inhale, lengthen that left arm up. Exhale, squeeze the trunk and gently allow the torso to twist. When the torso is twisted as far as is comfortable, release the hand down so the left hand is now on top of the right thigh. If you want to continue to twist through the thoracic spine, the rib cage, you can continue that twist very slowly. You're being extraordinarily mindful, and then allowing the head and the neck to follow the rib cage. Breathe. This should feel really yummy and really good, and you should be feeling this through the lower trunk. Feel all of those muscles working, you guys. You've got so many muscles down around your low back, your lumbar spine. They should be working. Gently release head and neck. Then gently release the rib cage. Inhale, lengthen that left arm up. Sweep all the way back. Allow the hips to come back to center. There we go. All right, now we're going to move into the right side, or excuse me, the left side. So what I want you to do is allow this right hip to come forward. Allow the left hip to come back a little bit. So again, we're on a little bit of an angle. Find your core, you guys. Find the trunk muscles. Inhale, lengthen this right arm up. Squeeze through the trunk. Flexing gently through the feet. And as far as it feels good, you're twisting through this lower part of the spine. Let the left hand, right hand release. Come on to the left thigh. If your body says yes and you would like to do more, still engaging through the trunk, gently increase the twist through the rib cage and allow the head and neck to just gently follow. And breathe. If you feel like that right hip is lifting, I want you to flex even more into that right foot and squeeze a little bit with that right glute. And then gently, slowly release. Head and neck first. Then rib cage. Inhale, lengthen back into that right arm. Sweep it back. Oh. Roll the shoulders. Realign. Take your block. Once again, we're just going to kind of move ourselves into a forward fold so that we can do just a little bit of extension. So squeeze through the glutes as you get ready to do this. Gently hinge through the hips. Again, this may not be very much. You have your block. You can bring your hands on top of your block. As you're here, I invite you to flex through the feet. Squeeze through the glutes. Allowing this to be active. So we're really working into some isometric stretching. You might even feel this through the adductor muscles, the muscles that run along the inside. That's a great place to feel it. So it's not about how far forward we can fold. This is about how can we find balance within the body. And then gently, slowly release. Release the glutes, release the legs. Slowly, gently, bring yourself back up. Ah. Okay, you guys, now we get to do the other side. Yay. So we're going to start all the way back over at the beginning again. So, knees, come back, tabletop. One more time. Curl underneath your toes if your body says yes for that movement. Bringing the hips back, Remember, you're not over flexing into the knees. If you've got the flexion in the knees, great. If your knees are like not so much, go only as far as it's comfortable. Spread those fingers wide. You want them to feel like starfish. And anchor into the base of the palm. So see how my fingers are lifted, but I'm anchored into the base. So first variation of movement is just simply to come forward and back. If your body says yes and you can do more, I want you to press into the feet and then lift the knees off. So the knees are now hovering. And again, inhale. Gently come forward just enough so that the shoulders and the wrists are in line. Exhale, bring it back. Inhale, bring it forward. Exhale, bring it back. Inhale, bring it forward. Exhale, bring it back. Now, press down into the feet and take a very small step forward with the ball of the foot, each side. So that this way you're working yourself into a standing posture. Come up onto the tippy ends of the fingers so that hands are in spider pose. Walk yourself up. Feet do not have to be in between the hands, you guys. You've got a nice bend into the knees. The spine is nice and long. Please remember to bend into your knees, you guys. Squeeze through these glutes. My feet are approximately hip distance apart. My toes are spread. I'm squeezing as I lengthen my torso so that it's parallel to the floor. If you have more, lengthen your arms in front of you, moving into Ardha Utkatasana, half thunderbolt pose or half chair pose. Breathe. Beautiful, you guys. Nice. Squeeze those glutes. Exhale, gently. Hinge back down. Come back onto the finger pads. Pause. Just take a moment here. If your body says yes, take your hands to your elbows and just gently sway just a little bit side to side. Use this time. Just different plane of gravity. Okay. Come back to center. Do a gentle yes with your head and neck. Full flexion extension. And then a gentle no. Both sides. Lateral extent, or excuse me, lateral rotation, both sides. Okay. Hands come back down. Roll back onto the balls of the feet and gently walk them back. Bend into the knees. Let the hands again come wide. Draw the knees all the way down. Come on to the top of the feet. You're going to move yourself into whatever variation of child's pose feels best for you. If you are not if you have smaller flexion within the knees, allow the hips to stay higher. Hands come wide. Top of the forehead rests on the mat. If once you're here, your body goes, you know, I think I might have a little bit, just gently begin to draw the hips back towards the heels. Allowing the hands to stay wide, you're just letting the hands follow the hips. The hips lead this pose. Beautiful, you guys. Awesome. Nice. And now gently bring the hands in. Okay. Bring your hips up. And we're going to get to do our variation of Vashisthasana on the right side now. So I'm just going to move a few things so that we can see. You've got two options. You can either do Vashisthasana coming from the wrist, or you can come down onto the forearm. Okay? So please do what feels best for your wrists. You're going to lengthen this right leg. Left leg comes in front. We good? All right, So we're going to do the same thing that we did before. Again, finding our core. So when you're ready, you're strong through the shoulder. The shoulder is not up at the ear. You're pressing down and into the forearm. So you have lots of space. So when you're ready, take a deep inhale, lift through the hip, using your core. You can bring that left arm up, beautiful. And if it feels comfortable, lengthen the arm. Beautiful, you guys. Inhale, bring the arm back up. Exhale, bring the hips down and allow the arm to come down. Good. So now we're going to put that all together in a slightly smoother move. So again, you're still pressing down through the shoulder, lots of space from that right ear to that right shoulder. And again, inhale, lift the hip up, float the arm up. If your body says yes, let it come over so that it's moving along that left ear. Then inhale, bring the arm up. Exhale, hips come down, arms come down. Beautiful, you guys. One more time. Deep inhale. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Okay. Left leg, it's going to come behind. Left hand is going to come behind. So now we're back on our backs. Again, this time, grab your block. We're going to hold it with our hands this time. So we're going to do a little bit with our legs. Okay, so this one, because we're going to be playing with our legs, bringing one leg up at a time, you may want to not lean back so much. Does that make sense? So before we had the stability of our legs. Now we're going to keep the block and our hands focused. If you guys, if it's too narrow to hold it like this, hold it like this, okay? That's a little bit closer to shoulder width, okay? So get yourself nice and comfy. Find those sits bones. Here we go. Breathe. This is the first piece. Just breathe. Let the back be long. Shoulders are parallel, arms are parallel to the floor. And begin to find. Make those arms work, you guys. What's going to happen is that your biceps and triceps are going to go, I don't want to do the work. So you're going to take it into your shoulder joint and upper shoulders. Don't. Make the biceps and triceps work. You're going to do that by squeezing those muscles together. Once you get those muscles squeezed together, lift the right leg. Breathe. Good. Beautiful. Look at you go. Bring that right leg down. Squeeze biceps and triceps. Lift the left leg. Beautiful, you guys. Bring it back down. Again, squeezing the biceps and triceps. They really don't want to work. Lift the right leg. Bring it down. Lift the left. Bring it down. One more time. Lift the right. Keep squeezing biceps, triceps. Bring it down. One more time. Right. Left. Bring it down. Good. Release the block. Pull. Roll those shoulders. Now, hopefully you guys could feel that through the biceps and the triceps, right? It's like, you guys, this is why we tend to get a lot of tension in through the upper neck. It's because our arms are like, we don't want to do the work, okay? It's time. They get to do the work. So here's what we're going to do next. I want you to bring your fingers so that they are pointing away. And all you're going to do is just gently take those inner edges of the shoulders and squeeze. Just drawing those inner edges of the shoulders together. Just gently squeeze. Breathe. And then gently let it relax. Okay, if your body has enough extension through the wrists, bring the fingertips so that they are facing towards the sits bones. If not, keep the fingertips rolled away. So this time, I want you to squeeze those inner edges of the shoulder blades. Put a gentle bend into the elbows and just very gently, slowly bend until you can begin to feel that opening through the anterior deltoid. That's the very top and front of what covers your shoulder. And then gently straighten the arms. Deep inhale. Exhale, squeeze those inner edges of the shoulder blades together, bend into the elbows, and gently bring the torso back so that you can begin to feel opening into those front deltoids. Head and neck are in neutral. Deep inhale, straighten into the arms, release the shoulders. One more time. Squeeze those inner edges of the shoulder blades together, bend into the elbows, gently opening. Inhale, straighten. Good. Bring yourself forward, roll the shoulders, roll the head and neck. All right, let me check time. Okay, yahoo, you guys. All right, so from here, we're going to do a little bit of a twist. Okay? So bring yourself all the way back down. Rolling, rolling, rolling. There we go. Take a moment right here, and we're going to practice engaging our abdominals a little bit more. So from here, we're going to focus on creating an arch. So take a deep inhale. And as you fill that belly, notice that your body through the back creates a big, beautiful arch. As you exhale, allow the arch to relax. And at the end of the exhale, you're going to very strongly draw up and in and squeeze through the glutes just a little bit. And then let it relax. Pause here for a full cycle of breath. Good. And now again, deep inhale. Fill that body to the front, noticing how it gently creates a gentle arch through the back. Exhale. Pushing the breath out, allowing the arch to relax. At the end of the exhale, I want you to draw up and in and squeeze. Engaging through the glutes if that feels appropriate. Let it relax. Full inhale, full exhale from a place of relaxation. And then one more time, deep inhale. Exhale. Drawing up and in, engaging through the core. Squeeze through the glutes if it feels appropriate. And then let it relax. Okay. As long as your body says yes, we're going to start with our right leg first. So I want you, if it's possible, to extend the left leg down towards the mat. If that's not, go as far as you can and then place either a bolster or a blanket underneath that left leg. From here, what I want you to do is gently draw the knee up towards you, okay? Depending on what the knee flexion says, you can either interlace your fingers behind the knee or you can interlace them just over and below the kneecap. Breathe. Moving into Pavana Mukha Uttanasana, wind removing pose. Get that really yummy stretch. And now from here, you're going to release that. You're going to take this left hand, wrapping around the right leg. Your right hand is going to just kind of stay balanced to make sure that this right side of your pelvis stays as grounded as possible. So what I'm doing is I'm gently bringing this right leg across the center of my body until I can feel a nice opening down through, in through my glute and around the back of my hip bone. And right here, without doing anything, we're just going to breathe. A few cycles of breath right here, just gently moving into that. Now, if your body says yes, and you'd like to take this a little bit deeper or do a little bit more, you're going to take this right hand, interlace the fingers around the left. So now you're holding on to the leg with interlaced fingers. And what you're going to do is you're going to do an isometric activation. So your leg is not going to move. It's going to stay in the same position it's in. But you're going to start engaging the muscles coming from the glutes and working into the outer edge of the hip. So take a deep inhale. Squeeze through those muscles, and without allowing the leg to move, you're going to gently feel that leg move into your hands. And your hands are just going to hold the space so that you can get a really good muscle activation as you're here in this position. And then let it relax. Again, if it feels appropriate, this left hand can wrap a little bit more deeply. Right hand is going to release now, and it's just here at the hip, right, at the pelvis, so that if your body says yes and you want to take this right leg across your torso just a little bit more, you can do that without activating through the pelvis. So we're really working on keeping our pelvic girdle as neutral as possible. And we're really working on just opening this area that's the lower glute and around that outer edge of our femur, of our hip bone. And again, if your body says yes, gently interlace the fingers. If you want to take this into an active stretch, please do so. Begin by squeezing through the glute, gently pressing that leg into the interlaced hands. Squeeze, really find that place of asking your body to wake up. And then gently let it relax. From here, you're going to allow the knee and the leg to come back across the center of the body. Let the knee come to outside of the trunk, flex into the foot, and we're going to do a half blissful baby. So, Ardha Balasana. Okay, so my right hand now is wrapped around the sole of my right leg. I'm not pressing. I'm just letting gravity do the work. And we're just kind of sinking into this, allowing this to be just a soft opening. Now, if your body would like to do a little bit more active work, you can do the same thing here. You can squeeze through the glute, press the sole of the foot into the hand, so there's no movement. So again, this is an isometric opening. You're just working on waking things up. So you might feel this a little bit more through the adductor and up into the groin. And then just let that relax. If it feels appropriate, you can begin to lengthen the leg. So rather than have such a strong bend at the knee, if your leg wants to begin to straighten, it can do that. So all we're doing here, you guys, is just playing with the range of motion that we have through the hip that doesn't always get access. So we're really slowing things down. Then gently release that. Release your hand from the sole of the foot and allow that right leg to float all the way down and out. And I want you just to pause here and notice the difference between your two halves. And feel your body follow the relaxation that you've created through that right side. Okay, moving into our second variation of the twist. So I want you to, as long as it's comfortable, keep that right leg long. If you need to bring any kind of padding underneath the knee to make sure that the low back stays happy, please do so. Moving into the left side now. So I want you to slowly bend that left knee up. Hands are either going to interlace behind the knee or just below the kneecap, making sure that you're taking care of your knee joint. So starting again in Pavana Mukhatasana, wind removing pose, gently drawing that knee in, making sure that it feels good. Letting everything be soft right here. You can either keep that right leg really relaxed or you can put a gentle flexion in the foot. It's completely up to you. Okay. So getting ready to move into our hips with an ever so gentle twist. This time you're going to take this right hand, wrap it around the left leg on the outside below the knee. Left hand is going to hold on or just kind of be placed on the lateral, the outer edge of that left hip, just to make sure that the pelvis stays grounded. And then very gently, very slowly, begin to draw this left leg across your torso so that the knee is working towards the right side. So this is an ever so gentle twist. We're doing this in a different way. When you find that space where your body goes, oh, it's a little tight in there, then I want you to stop and just breathe here. Still continuing to be soft. Still paying very close attention to the information that your body is giving you. And then if you choose, you can take this into something more active. So you're going to take your left hand, which I'm waving at you right now. You can interlace on the outside edge of that left thigh, right around the knee. And if you want to make this active and into an isometric stretch, you're going to squeeze through the glutes, gently press that knee into the hands. There's no movement here. This is just the wake-up call. Asking the muscle to fire, asking the brain and the muscle to reconnect. Breathe. Keep squeezing and then relax. Let everything soften. If your body says yes and you'd like to try going just a little bit deeper, release that left hand. Readjust the right. So the left hand goes back down to the pelvis to make sure that it stays grounded. And if your body says yes, you can continue to draw that left leg across the torso. Ever so slowly, really move with your body. Being very mindful. When you find that new location where your body says, wow, this is a really good place, pause, keep it soft. And then one more time, if you choose, you can interlace your fingers again and activate again. Squeeze through first through the glute, into the hip. Press the knee into the palms. So there's no range of motion right now. We're just waking everything up. Breathe. And then gently release. From here, if you choose, you can bring the leg back across. So now it's going to the outside of that left trunk. You can bring the sole of the foot up towards the ceiling, slide that left hand up, and bring yourself into half blissful baby. Breathing here. Really allowing everything within the pelvis and within the hips just gently open. And again, if you choose, you can activate. So squeeze through the glutes, squeeze through the hamstrings, gently pressing the sole of the foot into that left hand, finding that activation. There's no movement, just activating. And then gently let it relax. If your body says yes, you continue to extend that leg, slowly straightening. And then very gently, very slowly release. Let the leg come down. And just take a moment to notice the change that you've created through your body. And from here, please take whatever you need to move into your final relaxation. Let your eyes gently close. If you need blankets underneath your knees, if you need a blanket over you, if you need eye bags, please take what feels best. Take a moment as you come into your final relaxation to observe and notice if you have any areas of little bits of remaining tension. If you find any of those areas, then we're going to release it. So what you're going to do is, once you get yourself comfortable, you'll take a deep inhale. And on the exhale, I want you to squeeze all parts of your body. Curl your toes. Engage the calves. Squeeze through the glutes. Squeeze through the upper legs. Squeeze through the belly and the torso. Squeeze the shoulders, the face, the arms, the hands. The entire body gets very tight. Squeeze it. Draw it all together. Everything as close in as possible. And then let it relax. Exhale. Sound out. And enjoy this new spaciousness that you've made for your body. Take a moment as you come in to thank yourself and your body for this practice that you've given it today. Feel the difference in your body now. Breathe. Soften. Find gratitude. Find joy. Find peace. Gently, slowly, begin to find your way back. Begin by reconnecting fingers and toes, hands and feet. Whatever movements feel best and most natural for you. And then allow that movement and that awareness to move up the legs, up the arms, back into the breath. Taking a full deep inhale and exhale through the nose. From here, if your body says yes, take your breath in, bring your arms up over your head and stretch. Come back into the body by lengthening fingers to toes, bones to skin. Then gently draw the knees high into the chest. Give yourself a big hug. When it feels appropriate, gently roll on to whichever side feels best and most natural. And then from there, gently press yourself up into seated position. One last time, I want you to take hands together, palms touch. Allow your thumbs to rest at the heart center. I honor the divine in you, that is the divine in me, that is the divine in all of us. Namaste. And may the blessings be. Okay, you guys. I'm going to invite you all to unmute.